Shei's first day in the big city. This is the story of a young man who always had big dreams about the city. For lack of information, Shei always thought that all his problems would miraculously disappear once he got to the big city. Coming from a rural setting that can only be said to be purely modest and without complications, he always wanted to step foot in the big city. He grew up on tales of how alien life was in the city, and as such, in the back of his mind, he always had the big dream of settling and starting a life there. What he didn't have in mind is all that glitters is not gold. He would learn this the hard way. After finishing his high school life, he was not fortunate enough to land a scholarship that would send him for further studies. Yet this didn't kill his dream. He worked hard in his parents' farm, and whatever money he made, he saved up. Finally, after 5 years of solid devotion and persistence, he had enough to start a modest life in the city. He packed up and said his final goodbyes to his siblings and family, leaving promises of future aid which made them happy. He booked a ticket and started the journey. It was an 8-hour journey, and on the way he thought hard and built all manner of castles in his head. On arrival, he was just stunned by what he saw. His imagination was overshadowed with what he saw. Upon arriving, he stuck out like a sore thumb, and being a big city, it was inevitable to attract the wrong crowd. Having completely lost his bearings, he was at the mercy of well-wishers. Along came this rather helpful guy who eased Shei and made him drop his guard. Shei narrated his dream, and the guy managed to convince him to hand over his money so that he would sort out all his accommodation, his transport and furniture needs. All Shei had to do was sit with his belongings while the guy organized a taxi. Shei waited and waited till it finally hit him that he had been a victim of the thuggery of a big city. He was crushed, having lost all his money and left desolate. Catch me next time for the continuation of Shei's adventures in the big city.